January 29th, 11:56 p.m., Thursday. It's almost midnight, 4 minutes till midnight. Just reading some stuff on the internet. Microsoft stock went way down. Lost 357 billion in market cap. Most since 2020. It looks like it's a buy low time for Microsoft. Came up off the low this morning today. Well, the stock market came up off the lows. And Microsoft looks like, it's time to buy low, Microsoft. Stock market is high. And right now, Dow futures are down 216 and NASDAQ's down 147. S&P's down, so 0.43%, 0.46% for the S&P, and NASDAQ 0.57%. Gold finally fell off down 108, silver down 2.04%, silver 2.46%. So these nosebleed territory, gold and silver, are correcting, pausing, coming back from a very dramatic run up higher. Microsoft fell back quite a bit today, but looks like Microsoft just became a buy opportunity. And the general level of the whole stock market is high. So looks like tomorrow morning the stock market's going to fall some. Are we going to have a correction? Who knows? Maybe, maybe not. It may be down 200 points right now for the Dow, NASDAQ, but tomorrow at the end of the day, they might be positive. You never know with this market. But the general levels are high and very subject to having a correction or drop off. Now, what else was I reading here? That Trump is suing the IRS for $10 billion over tax record leak, and he is announcing a replacement for Powell as federal chair, as the Fed chair Friday morning. I don't know what his war is with Powell. But a lot of these semiconductor stocks were up a lot yesterday, today. Let's see, what's MU? MU is up 0.12 today. AMD was down 0.22. STX High Flyer, it's up 0.82. It's looking like it's topping off. All these things are looking like they're topping off. Semiconductors, AI, Western Digital down 0.46. So we might see a drop off on the semiconductors tomorrow. Junk bonds, what are they doing? Well, they fell down yesterday a fair amount for them, and it was down a penny today after it dropped off and rebounded, recaptured most of the day's drop. Triple Q, same thing. Put in a top yesterday, a big black candle. Today, a big red with a big giant tail at the bottom, where the tail went all the way down to support at the 50-day moving average at about 617, and then came back up to finish at 629. So it was only down 0.6%. Is that just the beginning that the drop off is going to happen? It looks like it based on the nightly futures that we're going to see a drop tomorrow. Energy Well, energy was up 0.92% with a big black topping candle, but it's hard to say what the heck's going to happen tomorrow. News will change everything. And of course, some things like financial sector hit a bottom yesterday, and XLF was up 1.06% today. So some of these things are at a bottom, looking to move up, versus semiconductors, tech stocks are near the highs, looking to go down. Another high, consumer staples, flight to safety. It's at a high point. It's come down a little bit here in the last few days, a couple of days. Utilities, well, they're hovering right around the 50-day moving average. So it's kind of hard to tell at the stock market right now. But it looks like the general market's going to come down tomorrow. Gold and silver are dropping off. And tech stocks, semis look like they're going to drop off. Oklahoma State wrestles Iowa State this weekend, Sunday in Stillwater. I guess Iowa State is ranked number 2 or 3 in the country. Oklahoma State's ranked number 5. So it's going to be a tough test for the Cowboys. They did lose to Iowa, I saw in a dual match earlier, so they're not perfect. It's going to be one of their toughest matches, dual matches so far this year. Iowa State, Big 12. What else was I thinking about? Well, heck. Oh, yeah, I was reading about WD-40. They have the secret formula hidden in a vault in San Francisco, in a bank vault. Safety deposit box, a secret formula, and nobody's ever seen it. The chairman of the board doesn't even know what the secret formula is. Kind of like Coca-Cola, the secret formula for Coca-Cola. Now, do the people who actually pour the ingredients in the machinery that make this WD-40, I mean, they know what the ingredients are that they're mixing together. I mean, I don't know. The chairman doesn't know what the secret ingredients are. He just granted access, in the recent years, after 20, 30 years. It's a secret club within WD-40 that knows the exact ingredients. And what was the original story? That the people who started it were roughnecks working in oil well industry or oil refinery, and they just accidentally, they discovered this greasy stuff and put it, and it worked, and now it's used for everything. It's $1 billion product. It's a good story, tell people. WD-40 stock has, it's been interesting. It skyrockets sometimes, and sometimes it tanks on earnings reports. Right now, WD-40 stock has gone from a low of 174.5 on the 10th of January. Now it's up to 226. Pretty straight move up from that drop off. That was the earnings report. It was January 8th. So it had a good drop on January 8th earnings, and it's rebounded every day since then higher. Next earnings are April 7th. So WD-40 is kind of overstretched to the high side. There's no earnings report. It's 3 months till earnings report. So we might expect WD-40, I don't know, that article about the founder or the chairman. We might expect that WD-40 to have a little drop off here with the rest of the market. The weekly charts, it just came back above the 50-week moving average on the weekly charts this month with the run up, and it's still well below the 2-year high. 285 right now. It's 225. So the move up has plenty of room higher to go. The weekly charts are pointing higher. That's the thing about these stock charts. You got daily charts, weekly charts, monthly charts, yearly charts, hourly charts, 1-minute charts, all kinds of different charts you can look at. How do they correlate with the S&P 500, with the Dow Jones or Triple Q? I mean, there's all kinds of different statistical charts and how they correlate. They don't correlate. One time this, one time that. They're too high statistically, or they're too low statistically. All kinds of charts that have been developed over the years. And they can all be used to outperform the S&P 500 pretty dramatically. So Wilbur and the Purdue's, you owe me $1 trillion for your bullshit. All my jail time in these Kansas City stockbroker offices. That the Wilbur, how many of them were there, said would happen. It happened, so you got to pay the price. Nothing personal. I had nothing personal against any of those teachers. I didn't know who the hell they were personally before I went there. They were just number 4 public in the country, number 13 simply as good as it gets. Purdue credit, rankings, engineering, Purdue, numbers, science, numbers, 99% on the ACT. So all the punks owe me $1 trillion, and Merrill Lynch, Smith Barney, Payne Weber, you owe me $1 trillion, punks. You murdered my real dad. That idiot stole his identity. How many people have been murdered in there? How many people have been murdered in the Sprint headquarters? As he used to say, Dad, there's dead bodies in there all the time. He said so much bullshit, so much shit that I don't know what to believe was true or not, other than so many statements were not true, contradicted everything when I was younger, didn't make any sense, were stupid, was mimicking like a parrot. Sorry, I just don't know what the hell's going on. But it ain't right. It's not acceptable, so I do this shit. In Merrill Lynch, one share owns the place. And in Merrill Lynch, owning the place doesn't mean you get a paycheck. You're no different than everybody else. So what's the difference going to be? Well, if you disrespect me and my ownership and my degrees and test scores, I don't like it. I consider that a flunk out of kindergarten equivalent who needs to be removed from society, never empowered to judge and disrespect like they've done. And they need to be judged and disrespect by the inferior to themselves. Someone who has a lower ACT, inferior degrees. This 6 foot tall shit, this shit they make up, where you live, your neighborhood, what kind of car you drive, all this shit. Just take them out and flunk them off the planet. I don't give a shit. It doesn't matter. They disrespected me too much. It doesn't matter. They're punks. Well, it is officially Friday, TGIF. It's supposed to be fucking cold here again. High of 17, low of 1 degrees for Friday and Saturday. I guess I got my chores for tomorrow. See what the stock market does with my chump change. Can hardly wait till they change that day trading rule. Hopefully I'll be putting this chump change into 7 figures within a month or two. But then that 7 figures will be 8 or 9 figures within a year or two. You know how it works? That math works? I know how it works. I know how everything works. Always against me, but never for me. And I don't like it. So I do this shit. Punks.